I mean, your motto. You want to say your motto?
Oh yeah, I mean the motto that at first started as a joke, and then I was like, do I sound like a fucking douchebag? But it started with our short movie, My Machine. It's make cool shit.
Yeah.
And the way that started was that when we screened the movie, I don't know if you remember, but it was like you did stand up Ron and my brother, and we showed the movie.
Yeah.
And so by the end, I was so shit-faced, like at the screening,
Good.
that at the end I had to go up and talk, and I was so drunk.
I forgot about
that.
this.
Like, instead of giving this like, oh, thank you for being here, I just went up and I was just like, I just want to make cool shit. I don't give a fuck about money. I remember my like lawyer was there, or who would be my potential lawyer. He was like, boo.
Boo. No.
But I was like, I don't care. I just want to make cool shit. And I think I said it for 20 minutes straight. Like, that's all I said.
Good.
And I would like everyone's like, okay, great, she's done. And then I would just say it again. So I think after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lean into this.
Welcome to Tank Top Talks. I'm Matt Braunger. I'm your host, Matt Braunger. Tank tops are ridiculous, but they feel good. And the reason why they feel good is they're ridiculous. Maureen Bharoocha, let's talk about your tank.
Okay. I actually don't really wear tank tops that much.
Fair.
And I don't actually remember where I got this tank top. I think I might have stolen it from someone.
Nice.
But I wear it all the time. Like, so it's like kind of a versatile, just a very basic black tank top.
Nice.
But I think I might have taken it from someone or like stolen it.
Oh, good.
So I have no memory of buying it.
That's perfect. I love it. I love a tank top. You just have no you just showed up.
Yeah. And
It
then I'm
showed
like,
up.
oh, I like this.
That's
so I
great.
wear it all the time.
That's it. I find people either have like no tank tops but one that they really love, or they have a lot, or they have none. And this is, this whole podcast, if you don't know, is just like the stupidest idea, but it turned out to be kind of great because everybody feels so silly in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like yours looks very cool. Yours seems just like an outfit kind of tank top, which is great.
I think that's like why I'm like, okay, this is my go-to tank top.
There's no judgment. I've had the very first one, Steph Tolev came on with like a muscle tank, which is basically a muscle shirt.
Yeah.
It's like not a tank top, but I'm like, I'll allow it. So it's like, the point, I guess, is just as long as there's no sleeves, you can be on the show.
I feel like I like when people like make tank tops out of shirts. So I feel like
Yes.
I wanted to do that, but I feel like I would never know how to cut it right.
My wife is such a genius at cutting up shirts. I don't know. She just knows how to like lay it out and cut it exactly. Now she's fancy. She just has it done.
Oh,
Takes it to like a dry cleaner with a tailoring thing in there, and it's just like cut it.
I'm gonna
like
have to
there.
ask her. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, you should do that. She'll get like an oversized shirt and have it like
Oh.
sleeveless or whatever.
That's what I want to do with like
Unsleeved.
old like band tees.
Yeah.
And if I could go back and tell my future self when I was younger, it's like always buy the bigger size.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah.
have so many like band tees from high school that I'm like, these are too small now.
Yeah. The tailoring t-shirt tailoring trend that drove me nuts. It was about 10 years ago. Was dudes would get these shirts and then get them tailored so that they just hovered above the belt line, so like just a kiss of belly. And you're like, what are you doing? Because it was always
You're
like
just you want to see more midriff or none.
it was always yeah. Either just do a
Either
half,
like really
do
it?
a half shirt
Yeah.
or a shirt.
Yeah.
I understand if your shirt's like super long, yeah, cut.
Oh, they're just like lazy not to tuck a shirt in. I mean, who tucks a tank?
Well, no, you know, tuck a shirt in, but it's also like it just
like hits weird.
yeah. It was. I just didn't. I mean, it was always guys in super good shape.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it bugged me. But I was just. I remember reading this. Like I interviewed the guy who was like, "Oh, this is what I do. This is how I get my shirts." Like, and you're like,
He had like a technique.
dude. No, he'd go to a tailor and get it trimmed.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're gonna spend all that money too.
Yeah. Costs more than the shirt itself.
That's why I don't get a lot of things tailored.
Way more. Yeah.
Because you're just like, man, why can't this be included?
Yeah. I can't have a custom T-shirt for the cost of the T-shirt. Hopefully, now that Mamdani is in New York, he can,
Mandate tees.
I think that's the mandate.
I think that should be one of
Universal health care first, then customizable T-shirts folded in with the cost.
I'll be down.
Yeah. So you were a director. For those who
Yes.
don't know, Maureen is an accomplished film and television director. And yes, a real one. Not just someone that's like, yeah, I film my friends and I tell them what to do. You have done 4 movies.
I feel like I kind of lie about it, but I technically have done 3 theatrical, or we just shot one. So my third theatrical movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did 2 TV movies like way back in the day that I kind of don't count. Because they were like TV movies, but
it's different.
Yeah. So I'm like, technically I've, I guess, directed 5 features.
Wow. But you also you've done a lot of TV too.
Yeah. I was a segment director on Jimmy Kimmel Live for 3 years.
Yep.
And then done episodic TV.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've done a lot of like, cold opens or like to award shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you just, are you still working on High Potential right now?
I just finished an episode of High Potential.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to air in February.
Are you still working on something now?
Just post on the movie that we did.
Okay.
But yeah, I wrapped the High Potential episode, so it's all on the can.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We first did we meet on?
I think we met on that short on Movie My Machine.
Movie My Machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't know you. I think I was like, we connected through my brother.
Yeah.
And I was just like, can we let's get Matt.
Yeah. It was
that's,
the best.
I think that's like, yeah, that's when we met.
Yeah. And it was one of those really great ideas, really funny ideas. It's me and friend of the show, Ron Funches, was on 3 episodes ago. He and I were film nerds who invented a thing that wipes your memory so you can watch movies again for the first time.
Yeah. So can you, would you want to watch your favorite movie like the first time?
Yeah. Such a great idea.
Yeah. I'm working on the feature version of it too.
Really?
Yeah. Which is like,
good.
I mean, I think we made it like 10 years ago.
God,
so
I know.
It's, I think
Ron
over
is,
10
because Ron
years
is
ago.
really big in it. And now he's like slimmed down.
I think you guys were like, I think it was like over 10 years ago.
Yeah. Because I think I was I remember I was back together with my girlfriend, now wife, for good. We'd broken up a few times, and my fault. But yeah, I remember having that little bit of groundedness in my life, and that's one reason I was like having so much fun in that, because it was like before that I was always, if I booked something, especially in the times where we were either on again, off again, or working together but secretly dating. It was never like, when you have like solidity in your life,
yeah,
you don't have to be in a relationship, but if you have like friends who support you and things like
some
that,
anchor.
Yes, something that's not kicking you around. More often than not, it was me. I was kicking me around. But I remember having that feeling, and also I think I'd either just finished or was, I think I'd done White Flight with Kevin Avery, friend of the show, also on the show, for Comedy Central. It was like a web series I wrote with Kevin that we had it on there. So it was kind of fun. Like, oh, we're making stuff.
We're
this
just doing
is so
it.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like, because I met Ron through Ahmed, and then we were like, who could be like a great, I was like, Matt's awesome, and I didn't know you, but I was just, it's funny to think about that time too, because it was so long ago.
So long ago. And we've just been keeping up the friendship, staying in touch with each other. And you had a movie called The Prank, and there was a part in there for me, but we just couldn't make it work schedule-wise.
Yeah, and I even think my other movie, Golden Arm, that Ron was in, I think there was like, when I was rewriting that, I was like trying to think about like, how can I get Matt? And you know what I mean? It's like, then it didn't work out that, and then I was like, The Prank, and then,
so cool.
It's like you always just like come back to your people that you're like, I want to work together again.
It's so funny because I remember I had a casting guy who basically taught these audition classes. And he was like, why do you think directors use the same actors over and over and over again? And we're like, because they're good, and they're great on screen. He's like, that's a lot of people. A lot of people are that.
Yeah.
Why these same people again and again?
Yeah.
And we're like, and he's like, because they can stand them for 6 months.
It's true.
They get along with them.
Yeah.
They're not in. I always tell people, like actors when they're in stuff, if the director's not talking to you, you're killing it.
that
you know what
is
I mean?
True. Yeah.
So it's like just do the best job you can. Prepare. Stay out of everybody's way. Be nice. Be super supportive.
Yeah.
Be chill. Don't be difficult. But it's like there are those people that like flip out and shit, and you're just like, no, like.
I feel like that
it.
happened a lot to me, like on Kimmel, like when you'd have people come through and you'd be like, oh, yeah,
because you were probably working with like
big people, but like just a short amount of time. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's like the thing where you're like, oh, then I'd be like, I want to work with this person again. I want to like,
Mhm.
but the same thing, like what you're saying, you're the acting teacher. I think the other thing is though, you can just like count on you. You're like, oh, if I like bring Matt in or
Oh,
Ron or like my brother's in a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? You're
yeah.
like, it's just like, oh, I just know that I don't have to do as much work.
Right.
Because you're like, okay, we already are on the same page. We like have the same taste. And so then it's kind of like a shorthand where you're like, okay, great. Like I only have to give minimal notes. So maybe it's like lazy on director's part too.
It's funny you say that because we tend to think of that, but it's kind of like you want to work on stuff, but it's like you want to make it easy on yourself if you can.
Yeah.
For sanity's sake.
Yeah, that's true.
Things are gonna spin out of control. I kind of love how the stereotype is, actors want to direct. And like I love directing. I would like to do it at some point, maybe. But I love the fact that like Brad Pitt has no interest in directing.
I
None.
love that too.
Where he's like, no. And why? Because it's so much work. He's like, I don't want to do that much work. And you could tell that guy kills himself for every role.
Yeah.
But it's like, I love that he's just like, no. I think the need to save your laziness is not a bad goal on certain levels.
I also think it's like, I mean, my dream is to keep not to always work with the same people, but to keep that like, I love like that Ryan Murphy model, right? Where you're like, they can't have like a group of actors that kind of do the same. It's like, okay, let's do this other kind of show now. And then you're like, okay, wait, everyone switches roles. Like, I feel like that's like my dream is to like keep doing that.
Yeah. And I feel like it's not as if everyone is it's not as if a director is like, oh, this is the acting team and that's it.
No.
You're always rotating people in, people out. Sometimes, when the prank thing didn't work out, I was like, oh, damn it. But I was also like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Whatever works.
We'll find that's the thing I do love about this town. It's like we did that short movie, My Machine, like, again, over 10 years ago. And you're like, at that time, you're like, okay, we got to work together again. But like, was it going to be a year from now? Was it going to be 5 years from now? Who knew it would be like 10 years? You know what I mean? Like, but you're like, okay, we'll find each other again. We'll just keep figuring it out.
And like, even when we just shot a movie together a couple months ago in Mobile, Alabama. Shout out.
Yeah.
Really cool town. But I remember when you were like, I really want you for this part and I'm pitching you hard. And you have that little thrill, like, oh boy. But you also can't go, it's all mine. Because the people controlling the money can always be like, can we just send this out to casting people? And thank God they didn't.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like sometimes, you're like, oh, I have the people that I want. And I'm trying to like play that chess move.
Oh God.
And then you're like, okay, great, it's close. And I feel like because we kept like messaging about it, and you're like, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's like happening. But then you just like don't, you know what I mean? It's like if the producers throw you a curveball and like, oh, we have this other person. And you're like, what? We've been going down this road with Matt.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like something can always go sideways a little bit or schedules change or whatever it is. But
yeah,
like the stars aligned. And I was like, yes.
No, it was such a score because it was, I've done a thing. I've been flown places for like commercials, and I did a week on Blue Mountain State, which was my friend's show. My buddy Drew Hancock, who wrote Companion and directed Companion, he wrote an episode of that, and he wrote this part for me. And so I got to live in Montreal for a couple days and be on this show about a college and be about a guy who post-college did not work out for him at all. But it was one of those things where even then I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But it's been a minute. But I haven't gone and done a movie on location.
And you're so good in the
Thank
movie,
you. No.
We picture locked, and like, it's like all your stuff basically made it. It's like you just never know where like, oh, what's gonna get cut or like.
I mean, you gave me such a Hammer of Thor. You gave me such like he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're a real.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, if I did my job, people are gonna hate me. People are gonna watch this movie and go, "Fuck him."
I did have a friend who like came in and did a little bit of us, just like to give notes, and she's just like, "Man, that boss guy is a dick." And I was like, "Yes,
he sucks so bad." And like, I was, I worked with my acting coach, and I was like, this feels like this is coming too easy to me. Because I can draw. I mean, he's the head of this agency he inherited, and he has all these young people that work for him that he orders around like an asshole, and he doesn't really do any work, and he expects the world from them, and he's just a shit, just an entitled shitty dude. And I just could pull all these. If not for this person in my life or this, I could be this guy. Like, not really.
Yeah.
We can all draw on our darkest stuff. You know, we talk about that where it's like, oh, what's the worst thing you could imagine yourself doing or whatever. It's like, what's the worst person you could be that's not like a murderer or something like that. You know, like someone who just literally only thinks of himself and doesn't consider himself at all. Like no reflection, none.
Well, I also think that sometimes like when maybe this is also the dark side of my dark thinking is like sometimes when you're like a nice person or like you're good or, you know, and you can like, oh, you also can know how to be bad. Like, right. You're like,
sure.
I'm staying away from that.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, but just one corner, one flip of the coin, it could have turned out the other way.
Yeah.
You know, or like I used to work at Sprinkles Cupcakes and I remember I used to manage that store and then I made short films for them. When I managed the store, I used to think all the time about how to steal money because I could catch employees stealing money, you know, and I'd be like, like at some point though, I'm like, what if I just started stealing money?
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, because the cupcakes I think used to cost like or $19.50. So I'm like, if you were an employee running the cash register, you could have like 50 cents and just take like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, at some point though, I'm like, wait, I'm now thinking about be that employee that I'm trying to catch.
Wait, cupcakes were $20?
Whatever it was I think it was like $19.50 for like for a half dozen. Whatever there was.
Okay, I'm thinking per cake. I was like,
no,
cupcake. I
for
was
like a dozen.
What?
So you
got it.
But I remember thinking like, okay, so then I would try to catch, because sometimes your registers would be like short.
Sure.
And
You
like,
can have a short register.
Yeah. I'm like, are people stealing? And so then you'd be like, okay, if I was to do it, how would I do it?
Right.
And then at some point you're thinking about it so much that you're like, I mean, I guess it would be really easy to bring 50 cents. And then if someone paid with the 20, you just give them 50 cents back and then you pocket the 20.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm like, oh yeah, you like know, you like read people or you're like studying people and then you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to become that person that I'm like?
Yeah. Well, it was also like, you can have the worst thought. Mm-hmm. You're allowed. You know, that's the thing. I mean, I think we've all beat ourselves up for like a thought we've had in our head. We're like, Jesus, am I a terrible person? The worst stuff will come to you just on impulse. But what if you said that stuff? You know?
Yeah.
Feel like that character, Todd, says shit. Just says stuff to his employees where it's like, don't fucking say that out loud, man.
Yeah.
You're such a piece of shit.
Maybe it's like right now that's also how the world feels a little bit where you're like, oh yeah, like I think we're just seeing these, like, I think that's like why on some level the character that you played felt like very like extreme in one regard, but then you're like, actually, no. Like it's kind of who we keep seeing pop up.
I have a friend who works for this company and it got bought by that type of company and dude, and his new boss is the stuff he tells me the guy says to them is like pretty much like, you should want to be assholes, like pretty much like that kind of stuff where it's like, oi, you know, and you see like Elon being like, I think empathy is the downfall. Like, what?
Like, that's insane.
Are you out of your fucking empathy is the only reason we don't eat each other. Like, stop. Yeah. Like, we have to see ourselves in others. Listen, I'm not saying you should follow Christ, but I think you need some Jesus. But yeah, it's definitely that. I mean, that's why, like, I pitched the idea of the beard thing with the hair. Yeah. That we did.
Again, you're so good. And then that's what was like so hard in the cutting room because you gave so many great versions. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh my gosh, like, okay, there's a moment where you throw a sandwich.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, while we were shooting, someone was like, he's just throwing the sandwich every time differently. And I'm like, that's great. Like, and in the end, it was like so hard to pick the funniest sandwich throw. But I remember like on set, someone's like, the continuity isn't going to match. I was like, no, it's great. Like, we're going to have variety.
Rudeness is like always kind of funny. Yeah. Like, just for context, I have this underling who she brings me sandwiches and it's always wrong, but I'm wrong. Like, she got the sandwich order right. And I'm like, I said no mayonnaise. And she's like, you said mayonnaise? And I'll be like, what the? You know, like, yeah. And this one, I just had the idea to throw the sandwich. So we just did take after take of me going, okay. And I throw it and then I light into her. I'm just this asshole. And I was like thinking my friend used to live in Japan and his wife was Japanese. And I used to make her laugh just by being rude because they're such a polite society.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mean to her.
Yeah.
But I'd just be talking and I'd just be like, yeah, what's up? No, nothing. What's going on? She thought just answering the phone in the middle of a conversation, she would bend over laughing. She'd be like, and she'd say so rude. She thought it was like, she'd be like, yay, do it again. And it's like, that's how I would, if you can do it right, like when I see that on a screen, when someone's like such a piece of shit.
And like, again, not even like thinking they're being an asshole. It's just like,
no.
That's the best part.
Oh yeah. No, he just thinks he's being a boss. Like that's what a boss does. Just shits on everyone underneath him is the worst. But it's funny. Yes. I thought about that at the time. He is like, there's always been that guy, but like that guy is pretty popular right now.
He's kind of like, it's like, like the Pantone color this year is like white. It's that's the highlight. That's like the, like they picked that color.
Yeah.
But you're like, that's a weird Pantone color to be like the color of the year. So that's the kind of guy that's the guy of the year right now, too.
It feels like the brightest gaslighting right now. Like the gaslighting is really bright. Right?
Yeah. Like, we're going to pick the Pantone white. Like just not a color. Like,
no. Yeah. Yeah. And like, I've been talking with friends about this, but like it's so much stuff is so bad and it's important to fight back against that stuff, but it's also important not to immolate yourself.
Yeah, because you can just get stuck in that whole, I mean, that's the thing that's like been great too, is like, it's been so crazy, but you're like, how do we, we talk about this a lot too. It's like, how do you like just hone back into like your work and comedy and like creating stuff? And because that's, I feel like at the end of the day, like what we're best at.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you just keep doing that?
And like, how are you effective? I feel like with what I'm doing and what you're doing, it's entertainment alleviates suffering to a degree.
Yeah.
In people, and that's our lane and that's what we lean into where, I mean, your motto, you want to say your motto?
Oh yeah. I mean, the motto that at first started as a joke and then I was like, do I sound like a fucking douchebag? But it started with our short movie, My Machine. It's make cool shit.
Yeah.
And the way that started was that when we screened the movie, we like, I don't know if you remember, but like, it was like you did stand up Ron and my brother and we showed the movie.
Yeah.
And so by the end, I was so shit-faced, like at the screening.
Good.
That at the end I had to go up and talk. And I was so drunk.
I forgot about
that.
This.
Like, instead of giving this like, oh, thank you for being here. I just went up and I was just like, I just want to make cool shit. I don't give a fuck about money. I remember my like lawyer was there, or who would be my potential lawyer. He was like, boo.
Boo. No.
But I was like, I don't care. I just want to make cool shit. And I think I said it for 20 minutes straight. Like, that's all I said.
Good.
And I would like everyone's like, okay, great, she's done. And then I would just say it again. So I think after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to lean into this. And for a while, I was like, it sounds douchey or it sounds stupid, but.
No. And I have been, I think anyone who's a creative has been hamstrung by decision. By but I have to get it just right, especially in this era where you can just take your phone and make a story or whatever you want to make. Yeah. And I'm not saying pump out stuff all the time at all. You want to make quality,
yeah,
but just make stuff you think is cool.
And honestly, like I've leaned into that now with like, because it's like I feel like I've always kind of confused people who are like, oh yeah, you've done these like cupcake shorts, and then I did some shorts where I did sketches for UCB, and then I did these thrillers for Lifetime, those TV movies, and like I was at Kimmel, and then I, they'd be like, you're a little confusing, and I'd be like,
right, yeah, like what's your lane?
Yeah, they're like, okay, and then you do TV and you do film, and then you do segments on Kimmel, and like, and I think that's also like just the nature of like hustling and being like, I'm just taking opportunities,
right?
But then I think once that phrase kind of came about and I started to like lean into it, I was like, yeah, I want to make cool shit in every form. Yeah. Whether it's short form or commercials or sketches or features. It's like, I want to work on things that I find exciting and cool and that I get to work with great people. And so I'm like, oh, that actually like helped hone when I would go into meetings and be like, I might be confusing you, but I like to make cool shit in every form and format possible. Yeah.
I mean, I want to say it was the Big Dumb Animal special I had. And as you know, editing is everything. It can make the comedy better. It can make the movie scarier. It can make, the emotions in a drama stronger, blah, blah, blah. So they couldn't find all these people that specialized in editing comedy. They couldn't find, and it was just like everybody was booked. So they found this guy that did like, I think Metallica concert videos.
Oh.
And like other like, like hard rock, like live videos, like live concerts. He edited them for release. And he'd never worked in comedy. And to this day, it's one of my best received specials. It came out so good. He hit the beats so good. Because I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, it's timing is everything in comedy, of course. But it's like, yeah, this guy just got it. Where it's like, you don't really know how your skill set will land. It'll land so well somewhere else, too.
Yeah. Sometimes you find, too, with comedy, like, because I wrestle with this, right? Because a lot of my comedy is, it's like straddling tone. And so when people are like, oh, like when you talk to people that edit comedy, some comedy editors are great. But then there's also people that are like, well, there's a way to edit comedy. And you're like, that's not always true. Like, I think you're using like tropes or like a well-traveled lane where you're like, if you bring in somebody that like isn't a comedy editor, they might find a different route into
100%.
And it's like, oh, that's really exciting because you're like, you found the way into the comedy, but you didn't go on the traveled path that like would be the normal, way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My wife's cousin, Kyle, writer, is like one of the most in-demand editors in the biz. And he did almost all of Atlanta, and he did Barry.
Oh, wow.
And then he did that, like, what's that? Black something. It's with Jude Law, and it's on Netflix now.
Okay.
And oh god, I'm blanking his name, but he's about a guy whose like younger brother is in really bad hock to the mob. Thank you. And he did that, and it's like that has moments of dark humor, but it's a fucking bleak show.
Wow. So that he did that.
So you're just like, well, how'd you get? He's like, yeah, I worked on a couple episodes of that, and it's just like. Anytime someone says something as silly as there's a way to edit that, it's like, sure, but there'll be someone who'll come in and break the mold.
Well, I also,
no matter what the form is.
Because I've just been inspired. I mean, I'm also always been like a Scorsese bro. So watch the Scorsese Apple doc, like the 5-part. It's incredible, but like that's what kind of because he did some like music documentaries.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then you're like, I've kind of forgot about that or never watched them. And so in the 5, they go through every single one of his movies. And then you're just like, oh man, I forgot that he did these things.
Right.
And you're just like, they're so not, they're not obviously not narrative and they're not like violent and paced the way that his movies are. But you're like, oh wow, like that's really cool that like you would just try this other format and like,
Yeah. Well, and it what you said about kind of straddling tones, it struck me when we did the table read, which was over Zoom because we were all over the country, of the movie we did, which we set some ground rules before we started recording. Like, let's just not say the title yet. Let's not say any of the people in it. I will say it was very funny because the lead in it, I was like, oh, so it looks like I'm going to get that part, and my wife was with our friend Molly, who Molly's a little bit younger than her, works under Kara and in her business, and she's a manager too. And then someone else, and I was like, I guess there's blah blah blahs in it, and these women are like, what the fuck, what? And I'm like, oh, you know her? And they're like, yeah, like they're looking at me like, you dipshit, but she's like pretty big, pretty big.
Yes.
But I was like, I just didn't. I was a huge fan of this other actress that's in it because she's in this comedy that I just love.
Yeah.
That I love so much. I'm just giving all this weird clues. But it was so fun to be like, oh, neato. Like
it is funny when you're like, oh yeah, do people have different, just like their pockets of fame. You know what I mean?
And we did the table read, and I would like the lead I'm talking about. I was like, oh yeah. This person has got the thing, she's got that, she's a star. But my point is the movie is hilarious, but it's got this really strong heart. It's really it's kind of moving. It's kind of a
honestly, there's like tears in the movie. I mean, that's what I've been trying. I mean, again, it's been hard with comedy, like to go because I didn't write the movie, so it's like an open directing assignment. And so a lot of times, like when people are like, I'm doing this comedy, and so many of the scripts that I read are just like it's either not funny to me, like again, you're just like everyone has different tastes,
sure,
or there's not like that like those layers of like humanity. And I do feel like that's what I like in comedy, where you're like it's funny, but then it's also sad at moments because that makes the comedy more fun and more funny.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we're kind of missing that a little bit in the feature space too.
Absolutely. And not I feel it's tough because we have to have genres, of course, because we have to go, okay, well, what kind of movie, what am I getting into? But at the same time, some of the stuff I find the funniest is in a drama. Some of the stuff I find the most moving is in a comedy. It's like, that's the sugar with the salt with the sweet. Yeah. Salty with the sweet, where you want that nice mix. I mean, I finally watched One Battle After Another, and there's so many funny lines in that movie.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
That the Christian adventurers, the like racist, thing, where the guy's like, this guy's just running down all the stuff, and he's like they attacked Cluckety Cluck chicken restaurant or whatever, and that guy was like basically a hitman for them. Is like, oh no, I love their nuggets. Like that line, I was like, fuck, that's so. But even like, Benicio, and it's funny because he's so sincere. Yeah. He does love their nuggets. Yeah. He doesn't give a shit about all the people that got taken to a detention center.
That movie, I mean, even like I feel like I saw a thing where Benicio del Toro was like just doing an interview about his how he said a few beers,
few small beers.
Like that's like he's like did a whole interview about like how he said that line.
Yeah,
and he was like, I don't even remember saying that.
Yeah, well, he said that the sensei, he wouldn't lie, so he would be like, yes, I've been drinking, but he's like, but he could say it his own whatever he wanted to say, small beers, and it's.
It's so fun. I mean, you know what I do think about? I mean, when I talk about comedies too, like I think what you're saying is like that salty with the sweet. I think sometimes with comedies, I mean, again, I love dramas. I love like a good dark drama, like a genre. But I feel like so often when you go in for a drama, you like are ready. You're like, okay, it's gonna be like sad, and there's gonna be like all this stuff. But there's something about when you go in for a comedy. You're like, when you're laughing, I think you're more open because you're just like not expecting it. So then when something deep hits you, it's like it goes deeper. Because I think it's like, I'm waiting for a laugh. So I'm open for a laugh.
Yeah.
And then if you get pinged with like some sadness or deep,
for
you're
sure.
like, oh, it hit me harder.
Yeah.
Because I think you're just not expecting it. And that's why I think sometimes comedies like do go deeper in that way.
Yeah. Like it can just be, there was that when is it The Boys in the Band about it's a play about a group of middle-aged gay men, and a couple of them have died of AIDS, and Nathan Lane had this part in it. He was like this super queeny character, and he was like did it on Broadway, and he had this monologue about how hard it is being, going through his life, and he's just going, and he's like, scream, it's yelling, and everything he yells, it gets a huge laugh, like something about like, and the dress doesn't fit anymore, and you blah blah blah, and then one line is like, and your lover's been dead for 2 years, and I remember seeing footage of that part where it's like people are crying, laughing, and then whoosh, they just get the rug yanked.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it was like, and it's like it takes an actor like that to do it.
Yeah.
But it's also like, yeah, it's the equivalent of watching a scary movie and you think everything's okay,
and then it's not.
Nope.
That's what the other show that I feel is like that for me is like Pen 15 was like that. Where you're like, it's so
that show's so
funny,
great.
And then you're like, but those moments where you're like, oh, this is like adolescence or just like the pain or like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, adolescent pain is its own. That's its own special knife in the chest.
I feel like everyone's like, oh, hard. I mean, I love hard comedy, but you're like, but then we don't know, like they've not labeled that type of like, it's so funny, and then it's just like that rug pull.
Yeah, I felt like Booksmart was like that too. A movie, because it was like, because their friendship was so real.
Yeah,
and the high school archetypes were so real. it really the authenticity kind of
Yeah.
was heartbreaking because you're like, oh man, it was like that.
Yeah.
That was
Well, I think it's like sometimes when you have like such high, like I like kind of like a really low stakes but high emotion.
yes,
Like, and I feel like that's why movies about adolescence or high school, I think that can be so funny, but then they can be so emotional because everything is just like life or death.
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
feels life or death.
yes. Oh God,
You
yeah,
know,
it
and
does.
so it's like, oh, that's what I think.
Oh,
That's I think why those
so-
movies do well.
someone took is it not who's it Roman Roy from Succession, and where he's like, I just like they all want the CEO thing. He's like, I just think if I don't get this, I might die. And it was like, and it superimposed that over like a kid's bedroom, and it's like my 6-year-old when I say like he can't have a treat or something like that, because it's that. It's like, but I'm gonna die. But the severity, the stakes are
The
so
stake. It's like
so huge.
it's life or death.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When you experience like rejection at that age, like when you first are having real attraction
Yeah.
to another person, fuck.
No, it
You
does.
just want to
feel
drown
like,
yourself in a lake.
Yeah, you're like, this is the
You're
most
like, life
painful thing.
How could life go on after this?
It's so true.
Because you've just been in the bosom, the arms of your parents. Parents is love. If you're lucky, like
True.
a good childhood, and then you get into middle school and just all that gets snapped.
I actually was thinking about the other day. I used to be very I used to have like a lot of sleepovers. I wasn't allowed to sleep over at people's
I had a lot of
houses.
sleepovers too.
But my parents were like, you can always have people over at our house.
Oh, cool.
So whenever I would have a sleepover, if one person didn't show up or decided not to come, I would like sob.
Oh, fuck.
I'd
Yeah.
be like, they hate me. Like, and I'd be like, it's like everybody else is here. Like, so my friends that would come to the party, they'd be like, but we're here. Like, who cares? Let's have fun. And I'd
Oh,
be
I
like,
know.
no, like not everybody came.
That person
yeah.
doesn't like me, so that's all I can think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, kind of ruined the sleepover.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, yeah, that was, I don't know what, but you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, everyone has to come.
You take shit so hard at that age.
But then
No.
I think about it now and I'm like, I'm kind of know adults like that now.
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
So many. It's funny. I have one of my dearest friends, and for years he would just like, we'd hang out, but he would blow me off for like, he'd get like a date with a girl or whatever, and just blow me. We'd have this plan for like weeks, and he'd just be like, oh yeah, but I'm like, what? And then he got married, and then the two of them would blow off me and my wife, and I'm like, wait, not all the time.
He found a perfect match.
But it was that. Well, it became that thing of, wait, we're always asking them if they want to do something, and what it comes down, I just think they're very insular and kind of lazy, and that
Yeah.
it definitely takes work to keep up relationships. But at a certain point, and we still text and say hi and stuff, and they don't live in LA anymore. But like at a certain point, you kind of just go, the friendship is there, but I just can't nurture it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't be always the one to pick it up.
No.
You got to carry it sometimes.
It's already tiring, but then it gets exhausting. When you're just chasing someone, you're like, what am I doing?
I feel like that's been I haven't made any like New Year's resolutions. Like I was like, maybe this year I just won't. But that's kind of been like in the back of my mind is like actually what you said about it. I'm like, okay, maybe I don't have to be the one. Like, I'm like, okay, let me not like make all the calls or like,
Yeah.
and I think it'll be fine because it's like so much of like
Trust me.
connecting and hustling and being
It'll be
like,
great.
okay, I like want to do the thing, and you're like, okay, maybe I don't have to work so hard this year to like keep that up because it'll just happen naturally.
Yeah, 100%.
Or it'll fade away.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay too.
And that's okay. Yeah, you're like that. We were supposed to be in each other's lives for this certain amount of time.
Yeah. And that's okay. I was just in Seattle last weekend, and I kind of it was like a cool thing because the week before that, I was in Portland with Rose with my parents because she wasn't back in school yet. Kara was back on the job. I was not yet. So it was like, Kara was like, why don't you just go home to your parents and bring the kid? And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I did that for like 3 days. It was great. And then I went home with her, flew home with her. And then the next day flew to Seattle to do a weekend, do shows. And that kind of slammed it into perspective of, it was like super chilly it didn't really rain, but it was like I'd go outside. Always felt like I didn't have enough layers on. And I was like, oh. And I was like, that thing of like, I want to kind of talk to everybody right now, but I'm just going to hold off because I feel like right after the holidays,
yeah,
my friends I'll text memes to and stuff, of course, but like, it's almost like they say, like, don't text your agent right after, a break. Cause it's just like, they're just getting fucking slammed.
Yeah.
It's like, let it breathe a little bit. Write the email, set it for Wednesday, not for Monday.
I know I've not sent many emails. I mean, today I actually did, which is like, I'm like, oh, it's the 12th. Like now it's been some time.
It has. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like that where I don't know if I always have like a little dip in like just New Year's like slump of just like, ugh.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, okay, let me just like regroup.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like, I'm going to Sundance this year. My birthday's in February. So I always have a weird month of like, okay, really February is the beginning of my new year.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Absolutely. And like pilot season doesn't exist anymore. It's kind of just like all year and nowhere and no time at the same time. Yeah.
And it's like, I think again, doing the movie was so great, but I don't know if you always have that. We did the movie this summer, then I came back and did High Potential, and then it was the holidays. So it was like never any time to like just decompress from it.
Yeah.
So I think my like New Year's slump was like even harder because you're like, oh wow, now I'm sitting still. Like,
yeah.
And normally it's like you do a project, you're like sit still, you're like, okay, what's the next thing? Or like, in life in general. And then I'm like, it's been go since July.
Well, and it was really fun and funny for me to talk to the lead in the movie about what she's doing next, because when you get to that level, your year just gets swallowed.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who's in a lot of stuff and he could be doing a lot more, but he really doesn't want to miss. He wants to be with his kids a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it.
Yeah.
But there's stuff he's turned down that I'm like, oh, buddy, Yeah. But at the same time, it's a blessing to be able to be like, okay, I can do, few weekends a year and maybe book something here or there and make enough to contribute for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I might be really unhappy if it was just, oh, they want you to be in Cambodia for 3 months. And you're like, what? That's where we're shooting. So I did I mentioned this in the show. I did a show called Swedish Dicks that Peter Stormare created. And he created the show because he wanted to stay in LA. Because he's a bad guy in everything.
Yeah.
And so he would have to go to, Prague for 6 straight months.
That sounds like a nightmare.
I mean, like I was like 6 and
yes.
you're like,
pretty much you live there then. You're like, your vacation and you're back at home.
But like, I can't miss a half a year of my child's life.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I mean, that's why I just like want to shoot more stuff in LA.
Sure.
I mean, I was so happy
it
that
doesn't have to be, it could be.
It's like it's just not such a long
time.
Yeah.
I get cast as like a weird, too tall, older elf in like the new Lord of the Rings or something that they shoot in Australia. We can talk, but
I mean, again, a month, 2 months, but I'm maybe because I've mostly done features that are like, pretty fast, down and dirty. You're like, you could do stuff fast.
Oh yeah, a month I could do.
Yeah,
6?
6 is a long time.
That's bonkers. Yeah.
I mean, to be away for 6 months is like, even I don't have kids, and I'd be like, I don't want to be away for that long.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's why I chose this industry is that I don't have. I mean, I kind of like doing lots of things in different places.
Right.
So I'm like, to be anywhere tied down for I mean, I don't have a job right now, but I'm like, oh, that sounds like terrifying.
Oh, but like I've always had levels of movability. When I was a waiter, I could switch shifts with somebody and go do something. I could go, okay, I'm going to be in this show, so I can't work these nights. What's this? You can, when I was a PA, I had the chillest head PA because he would know I had an audition and he'd just lie and tell everyone I was away I was making runs. He'd be like, oh,
what a great buddy.
Oh, he was the best. Thank you, Jim. But more often than not, it was like, I'd go on a run and then I'd go to audition. But it's like, I always told him, But then after that, I worked for a closed captioning for the hearing impaired thing, and I could just take a whole day off, and then I'd come in on Saturday or Sunday. So it's like there are all these ways to make it.
Well, even when I worked at Sprinkles, I was like the in-house content creator of like short films and training videos.
Is that how you got started making movies and stuff? I wanted to ask.
I mean, basically it's so crazy because there was the announcement that it just closed, and it was like 20 years.
Wow.
I worked at Sprinkles for 9 years.
Wow.
So I came out of film school in like 2007 when the last writer strike happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no job. So I got a job working behind the counter at Sprinkles.
Wow.
Just to like pay the bills.
Sure.
And I grew up like owning restaurants. So I've always liked customer service. And I do think managing a restaurant, or I managed Sprinkles for 2 years, is like directing, because you're like giving feedback. You're like, you're just like dealing with a lot of things at the same time. Yeah. And so they saw my thesis film, like the owners, Charles and Candace, that I shot in Karachi, Pakistan. And they were like, they had said at the time, they were like, hey, we need someone to make a corporate film for us. Can you like come talk about your ideas? So I was at the time working behind the counter. I was PAing on like Gracie and the Simpsons at the time. Like
amazing.
And then I went in to pitch them, and I was like, corporate films suck. I was like, no one wants to watch a corporate film, but you guys have a great story. We should do a mini doc.
Yeah.
And at that same time, they would only been open for 2 years at that point. They were like, at the same time, I was like, oh, you should also be making branded content. We should do cupcake shorts based on your cupcake flavors. So we should do a film noir for your black and white. And I was like, we should do one where it rains, it sprinkles.
Whoa.
And they were like, oh, that's a really cool idea. We don't have the money right now, but like, why don't you start doing the doc? So I was working in the store. I was working at the Simpsons, and then I was on the side doing this doc for them.
Holy shit.
And then at the time, they were like, can you just come manage the store full time? And so I was like, you know what? At the time, I was just a PA. So I quit Gracie and the Simpsons. But on my last day of working on the Simpsons, I met Yardley Smith, who's the voice of Lisa.
Sure, yeah.
And she used to come into Sprinkles all the time. So my last day at the Simpsons, somebody introduced me to her, and I was like, she was like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a director, but I'm going to work full time at Sprinkles. And she's like, what? And I'm like, oh, next time you come in, we'll chat. So the next time Yardley came into Sprinkles, she was like, what are you working on? And I like lied. I was like, oh, we're doing a short film series. I know Strawberry's your favorite. I would love for you to be in the Strawberry short. And she's like, I'd love to do that, and wrote her name and number down.
Whoa.
And then I took that to the owners, and I was like, we have our first celebrity, and she wants to be in the Strawberry short. So they created a position over at corporate. They moved me over there. And then I was like their in-house content creator. So I would write and direct like short films with
That's
like
such a
scripted
great,
stuff. Yeah.
Like origin story and gig too.
It was insane that like at the time they were like, yeah, we need a content creator in-house. So they just like created the position for me.
I mean, well, that's so smart of them.
Yeah.
That's one reason that company was such a monster.
So we made, and then I would do training videos. I would go to all the store opens and shoot vignettes. Candace was on Cupcake Wars, so I'd go shoot behind the scenes there. And I would take breaks. I would take a Sprinkle sabbatical to go do a movie. So I did my 2 movies, like those 2 TV movies while I was there. I was a part of UCB. So I would like, but it kind of, the reason I was bringing that up was that I was like working there, but nobody knew what I was doing really.
Right.
So I would like work my own hours. I would like, I'd work on the weekend and then do a short, or I would do a sketch during the week. So
yeah, I
was just able to do lots of things at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And then, sometimes it was like, oh, this week I edited this one short or this one thing that didn't take that long. But yeah, it was like a way just to be able to do a bunch of things at the same time. And that it really was. And I worked there until I left for Kimmel.
Wow. Yeah.
It was like, it was crazy.
And it's really fascinating how you kind of built your own road. I don't know if maybe I mentioned this on the show, but I remember a friend of mine he's a location manager, and he was doing this big movie for this director. I'm blanking on his name, but he was one of those directors who just like sometimes he's thinking about creating this character that is, I think it was like a comedian at a wedding. He's not sure if he can use one or not, but we can put you on as just an extra for now. You'll never have to do extra work, but you have to hang out all day because he might just use you, And I went and I did sit there like almost all day, and I was just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I probably shouldn't have left. He might have used me. I don't know. But I was
sliding doors.
This was a time in my life where I'd done 2 pilots for the same show, for like my show for Comedy Central, and I was like, I kind of had a stick up my ass about myself where I was just like, I'm not getting used anymore. And I was like, this is something I should try. But after a while, I'm just like, fuck this, fuck everybody, you know? But I do, this is the interesting thing. I remember being on the bus and there were all these extras and all they kept talking to each other about was, oh, who are you with an agency? I wish I had an agent. Oh man, I'm trying to get an agent. Wish I had an agent. And they were just like, yeah, I mean, I think my dream would be to sign with CAA. And I'm sitting there, I'm on the bus, I'm signed with CAA.
Yeah.
They're doing nothing for me.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Agents don't get you work. You have to build yourself up. And when people want to work with you, the agent will swoop in and get you as much money as possible and then broker a deal. And then that ball can start rolling.
Yeah.
Agents don't start you. And it's like, you have to get yourself work.
Yeah.
Where the whole just waiting and just going to auditions and stuff, you got to build a little community. You got to build.
You just got to go make cool shit.
Make cool shit.
Yeah, with your friends.
That's it. And that's such, I'm glad that you told like the meat and bones of your story. Well, that's fascinating because I never knew all of it.
Because it is a lot. It is like a weird, because everyone's like, oh, you're so lucky. And it, you know, obviously this town is luck. But I do think it's like, oh, it was a long time of just like, okay, let me do this, let me do that. And that's like why I think everyone's like, I'm so confused by you. It's like cupcake shorts and UCP. And they're like, because it's just like finding those opportunities to like make stuff or like just get your 10,000 hours and like hone your skills. And like, but yeah, it is just like, I always think, I don't know what that version is now for people.
No, and that's everyone's understandably spinning out because everything got cratered for the stupidest reasons possible.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Other ways were just kind of the evolution of entertainment accessibility, you know, like little phones, streaming services, la, la, la. But I do think there's too many people who are just pulling their hair out over why can't it be this when they could just go, okay, here's this good stuff I can find. And more than that, what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I do? I can create. I can make things rather than go. I mean, when people, there was the co-working place that I told you about that I used to go to, and I still love it, but it was like, there was this couple people that would go and they'd be on calls with like their friends and just be bitching about how everything's falling apart and it's no point. What's the point of writing anymore anyway? Because I heard it was all bullshit. And I'm just like, I can't. And they're young. And I was like that too when I was young too. Yeah. Where it's like, I got it all figured out. Here's what's up. No offense to young people. But I do feel that this new generation of young people is the best yet. And I mean that. I seriously mean that.
I actually do think that.
The Ludditism is great. They understand how toxic shit is. They're making moves. They're not
and they've
putting
also
up
seen
with
older
the stuff.
generations be told that you do it this way and you succeed. And
100%.
then when it's like, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Like there's no path.
Nope.
That's like the correct one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But listening to the couple people that were always, and the people that I encounter still, they're just like, what's the point anyway? Everything's so fucked up. It sounds to me like when I did like New Faces at Montreal and had a great set and I got off stage and a dude literally ran up to me and was like, do you have a manager? Like, I want to sign you. And I'm like, yes, I do. And it was like, oh, wow. You know, and it was like, but it was that feeling of like relief. Wow, I killed it. And then from there, I got like a little bit of attention, and I was going on these good auditions and stuff, and I signed with an agency, and it was like, okay, the ball's rolling now. Mm-hmm. But I heard from so many people, if you would have done that set 3 years ago, you would have made at least $100,000. You would have got a development deal right away.
Yeah.
You know, 6 figures minimum. You know, like low 6 figures, and then I remember that's going in my head and going, oh yeah, but it's also, but it's not 3 years ago.
Exactly.
You know?
That's the thing. I think
so. That's what people don't think. It's like, yes, there was a time. Sure, you could go back to the 90s and go, wow, it'd be so much better. No, they use the same fucking 7 movie stars over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Read that CAA book. That's not spoken word, but what are those biographies called where they just quote people exactly?
Yeah.
It's just, you're just like, what the fuck? They had everything, them and like 5 studios had everything in a stranglehold.
Yes.
Where there's no breaking in.
Well, I also feel like that, I think, because I feel like my so far in the journey of my career. It's like I came when the first writer strike in 2007. Oh, there's no jobs.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's new like that was old Hollywood. So that's all I ever heard was like, oh, the heyday of like TV and movies.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, working, building, being on Kimmel. You're like so grateful to be on that job. Left Kimmel to do my movie Golden Arm. Supposed to premiere at South by 2020. Pandemic. Okay, well, that movie would have been a hit. It would have taken you this, whatever. Okay, great. Then broke into TV. It's like, oh, the pandemic happens. So you're like,
yep.
Every single thing is just like, oh, it's supposed to be this, but it isn't. This is what it is.
All you can control is yourself.
And you can just keep being like, it's not starting from the beginning. It's just building that momentum and just trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm so grateful because you're like, now whatever I get to each level, you're like, I'm actually that much more grateful. If I had gotten it when I was younger, I think, maybe who I was when I was younger, be like, yeah, of course I'm like this and I'm that. But it's those knocks that like make you just feel grateful and like, oh yeah, I want to get back to the people that I want to work with. Like, when I did that, that's like, I'm like, I want to work with Matt. Like,
yeah, thanks.
Where you're like, okay, we just let's get the gang back together as many times as we can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're about to wrap up. Is there anything you want to promote?
I mean, again, I think once we can announce our movie,
we have a release date.
But I mean, my next thing that's just coming out is my episode of High Potential airing in February, which was such a great show to be on. Nice, congratulations. Well, thanks for coming on, Maureen. You're the best. Matt. You're the best. Make cool shit. Make cool shit forever. There you go.